Right, folks, I hope you're well, I really do. Right, I've got tonight's showbiz news. Now, it's a better one tonight. I'm happier with this one. You might not be, but I am. I've got 5 subjects for a change. I've normally only had 3 of late, and they've been crap. I think these are a bit better. There's a bit more meat in them. And it's not really so much what I'm reading, although there's a bit of that. It's what I've been hearing, what I've been watching, and then what I've been looking at through my normal sources today, either to listen to read, or to hear. But I'll start with tea time-ish. No, late. Early evening last night, early evening. Her indoors was out. She was doing something last night. She was out. Right. It was bath night. I have a bath every month. Without fail, I get in that bath. Because there's no... Cleanliness is next to godliness. I don't care what anyone says. You've got to have a bath a month. You've got to. And last night was my turn. So, I'm in the bath last night. And yes, I do have a bath more than once a month. Sometimes I have it twice. Start and end of the month. Anyway, that's by the by. Right. I'm in the bath. I've got the bathroom door open, I've got the door open to the bedroom, and I've got the old TV on, and I've got the old Sky going through the TV there. I want to hear something that I've recorded off the radio, and I'm listening to old Steve Wright. They had a special for him on the Bank Holiday Monday there. I think it was done at the BBC studios a few months after he died, and they've just played it on Monday. Really enjoyed it. If anybody listened to it, I bet you did too. If you didn't, you must do. You must do. It was really, really good. There was a downside to it. There was a downside. Ladies and gentlemen, in remembrance of our great friend, your friend and mine, the world-class, fantastic, absolutely sensational broadcaster, Steve Wright, who sadly passed away, blah, 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 presented by Vernon Piggin K. They didn't say Piggin, that was me. I put that in there when I heard Vernon come out, I thought it's Piggin K. I was right. Vernon Kay. Now, some of you like him. I know you do. I'm not that keen, but it's changed, folks. I like the old school. I thought to myself, Vernon Kay. They could have had Johnny Walker doing it. I thought, no, he's gone. I'd have dug him up. I'd rather hear a dead Johnny Walker than Vernon Kay. They could have had Johnny do it. They could have had Bob do it, Whispering Bob. He was there. He had a couple of bits and pieces to say. Really, really good they were about his early days working with Steve Wright. Bob could have presented it. Old Ken Bruce, he could have, but they got rid of him. He's buggered off somewhere else. He's probably not happy coming back, and they probably didn't want him back because he's too popular. Then I thought to myself, they could even have your man Gary Davis. He'd have done an all right job. Oh, Gambo would have done a fantastic job. Fantastic. Oh, brilliant DJs. They could have had Tony Blackburn, a well-known DJ. Brilliant. No, I'm not so sure, but well-known. They could have had any of them doing it, any of the old boys, the old faces. It'd have been better. Not Vernon Kay. He did an alright job, but he's not my cup of tea, folks, he's not. But as a programme, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And when it ended, you've got old Zoe, who was on the programme as well, doing a few tracks that Steve liked for the last half hour. First one up, I think, was Radio Gaga. I started to listen to the words, and I started thinking of Queen, and they've gone, and Freddie's gone, and Steve Wright's gone, and I was really tearful. It really got me. It did, honestly. It really got to me. But cracking show. If you've not heard it, go and have a listen. It's brilliant. And as I say, Whispering Bob had some cracking stories about Steve in his early days. I love Steve Wright. I really, really did. I mean, for me, Gary Davis, not bad. Ken Bruce, very, very good. And Johnny Walker, very, very good. And Whispering Bob doing a good job with Sounds at 70s. Now, for all it's a different kind of programme, still doing a great job. But for me, just above them all, the champion was Steve Wright. I thought he was brilliant. Her indoors has got a good pal. She likes nearly everybody I like. She doesn't like Steve Wright, and I can't get it. I just love Steve Wright. And I didn't listen to him as much as many of you. I'd be out working, but from time to time I get 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, quarter of an hour there. But he always left me with a smile on my face. I always felt comfortable listening to him. I always felt happy listening to him. I always felt like genuinely, as they say, like he was talking to me. I just thought he was brilliant. Lulu told the story there, saying I'd tour here, I'd tour there, I'd tour everywhere. I'd come back home, I'd be on for a day or two, and I'd turn radio on, and there'd be Steve, and I'd think, I'm back at home now. I can relax, and I'm back at home and enjoy life. Because she said that's the kind of comfort blanket Steve put over me. And I thought, yeah, I get where you're coming from there. I miss him dreadfully, I do, honestly. Never listened to that Radio 2 show since he's left, nor would I. Never listened to it. Big mistake there, BBC 2. Big mistake. Or BBC Radio 2. Then last night, this is weird. This was a weird one. I'm watching the old Wheel Tappers last night. I think it was on Sunday night. I keep wanting to say taped it. We don't tape anymore, do we? I recorded it. And I was watching it late last night. And it's weird. they've got like some awards for various acts that were voted best in Clubland that year. I think it was about 79 or something like that it was. Anyway, Berners presenting with old Colin Crompton with the old bell and whatever else. It's all right. Most of the acts pretty crap. A couple of them weren't too bad. But I like the show. I just love the show. And again, it takes me back to my youth and it's the time I loved. So I'm enjoying it. They've got a bit of a beauty contest on and I'm thinking, ooh, you wouldn't be doing all that today. They're flaunting there in the bikinis and whatever else. Anyway, they've got, I think, 8 of them up. 6 of them, 8 of them, 8 young ladies from different clubs around Great Britain. And then they're picking the top 3. I got 2 of the 3 right. One of them never made the top 3. I'd have put her in there, but she didn't get in. But I was right with 2 of the 3. Anyway, they voted for it and they did all that. All that was done. But it was weird. They had a panel. And I think the panel was voting for the beauty contest part of things, I think. And the panel was, I can't remember the first guy that they brought up, but they brought a guy up, can't remember who it was. Next one was old Bet Lynch, Julia Goodyear. Julie came next. Then they brought out Alvin Stardust. He never had the gloves on this time, or the ring. Alvin was next. He sat next to Julie. Then they brought out, I thought this was strange, really strange, Timothy West. Prue's fella. I thought, what's that all about? He came out. I think someone died in his family. His pants were about 4 inches short of his shoes. And then they brought out, ooh, did you see who they brought out last? I'm surprised they had the show on last night with who they brought out last. It was our Cyril Smith. Cyril came out last. I realised quickly why he came out last. He had to sit on the end. There was more room there. He was taking up a space or two, so he was on the end of the table. Anyway, what I noticed, we're watching it, and the beauty pageant and stuff, everybody's looking intently, even Julia. Julia's looking, and, so's Alvin and whatever else. Cyril, not a peep out of him. Not a smile, not a look, not an admiring glance, nothing. And I thought, doesn't look like Cyril's interested at all. Wasn't surprised, by the way. I would have been at that time, but knowing what we know about Cyril now, and his liking for young BOYS's, it's hardly surprising they didn't tickle his fancy. 8 really good-looking young ladies there, lovely figures and whatever else. Cyril didn't seem bothered in the slightest. I bet he thought to himself, feel like a bit of a fraud here. Now, if you were sending me to school to judge boys long jump, boys high jump, or whatever else, I'd be all over it. But no, he didn't want to know Cyril, and I thought, there's a precursor to what went on further down the line. Somebody should have noticed there. He was like a right fish out of water with Cyril there. Very, very strange. I'm surprised it was aired, honestly. I thought it'd be like the old Top of the Pops with old Savile in there. They pulled them, haven't they? You don't see him anymore. Didn't think we'd see Cyril's much last night. I was very, very shocked. This morning, I'm taking to this morning now, and it was this morning, but I'm on it this morning. Turns on the TV this morning, looking at the recordings like I do daily, and he's on again. Ryland, what's her name? Josie, is it Josie Gibson? Ryland or someone like her. I want to like her, but I find it hard. Him I have no time for. And I thought, they've been on for 2 or 3 days now. He was on all last week with her that I do like. Is it Sean or whatever her name is? She's brilliant. Wasted with him. But him and Josie, it's car crash after car crash after car crash. And I thought, can it get any pigging worse? And then all of a sudden, I'm flicking through it and I stop. Peter pigging Andre. I thought, oh no, it can get worse. Ryland, Josie and Peter. I thought, no. At a time when we're reading something about Peter that isn't that savoury at all, is it? I think one of the digs that old Katie Price has had back at him, or one of her friends has said, oh, comes across as nice and, clean and green, nice fella. But folk don't know the things he said, the nasty things he said about old Harvey. Harvey's like, is it Dwight York's son? The one that obviously has been born with problems. I don't think Peter liked him, and he's had some things to say about him that aren't that nice. I think they're going to come out soon. It won't paint a good picture of old, clean and green Mr. Andre, I don't think. What else have we got? Paul Gallagher, that's the older brother, is it? I think the older brother, both Noel and Liam. He went to court today for the first time on those rape charges that have been hanging over him for about 6 or 8 weeks now. It was his first appearance in court. How it's gone, I don't know. I do know Liam's in his camp because he's been staying with Liam lately. I don't know how Noel feels about it at all. I really don't. And that, folks, I think is it. Yeah, that's it for today's Showbiz News. As much as anything else, what I've seen and heard and my thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts. Do you know what? I'm going to be honest, I never lie on here, ever. Ever lie on here. My favourite politician growing up was CYRIL Smith. I'm not going to tell you his name, CYRIL Smith. He was a big fella, but I'm not going to tell you who it was because he's not done that well, you know, more recently. But I heard some things about this fella and they were all good. I knew people who were born in his constituency and whose mothers still lived there, and they used to say, this fella is brilliant. I've said this before, I think. Absolutely brilliant. He holds a class like an MP's class or whatever it is on a Saturday morning at the town hall. You go in there to see him, like a surgery. And he's there for 4 hours every Saturday morning. Women of all ages go in. I've got a problem with this, I've got a problem with that. They've sent someone out, they've not put it right. They promised me someone should come and they've not turned up. Leave it with me, wait a minute while you're here. This is me. When can you go and see her? Tuesday morning. What time? 10 o'clock. Don't be late. If you're going to be late, no more than quarter of an hour. I want you there. I want this sorted now. Mrs. Jones, you heard that. It'll be there. 10 o'clock to quarter past 10. Tuesday morning. It'll get done for you. And it did. They said he held massive power there and he looked after the elderly and he got things sorted for the constituents, which is brilliant. And I'd never forgotten that. I've realised since that was the side of him trying to look after folk and trying to give himself a pass for all the evil deeds that he did with the young people, or the young boys, should we say, of that very same parish. I used to like him. I know he was an oddball, but I liked him. Sometimes we learn, don't we? We learn that we're wrong about folk. I'm not normally, but in that instance I was. Anyway, I love you and leave you. I'll let you get on. It's been a long showbiz news, and you've heard something of the truth there.